Hello, in this lesson we're going to look at some useful phrases to talk about what you do in your job. The examiner may ask if you work at the beginning of the speaking exam. If you work, it's important therefore to be able to talk about what you do in your job. If your job requires a lot of effort or attention, you can say, I have a very demanding job. Jobs can be demanding in different ways. For example, working in construction can be physically demanding, while teaching can be emotionally demanding. When you describe your work, you'll probably use present simple most of the time because you're talking about what you usually do. However, sometimes your company might have a specific priority that they're focusing on. In this case, you might use work on in the present continuous. For example, we're working on a big project at the moment. To talk about areas of work, you might use deal with. For example, I deal with customer complaints. You can also use deal with to talk about the people that you help in your job. For example, a school administrator might say, I deal with parents. If you have one main responsibility in your job, you can use a phrase such as, it's my job to. For example, it's my job to make sure that orders are sent on time. For talking about more specific responsibilities, you can use the verb involve. For example, my job involves phoning customers and updating them about their orders. After the verb involve, we use a gerund. My job involves answering the phone, writing reports, and making tea. If you're responsible for a function of your company, you can use the phrase in charge of. For example, I'm in charge of the marketing department. We can use either a noun phrase, such as the marketing department, or a gerund, like marketing, after this phrase. In some jobs, you might fix problems. In this case, we can use the phrasal verb to sort out. For example, I sort out problems with our computer systems. If you work in an office, you probably have to do some paperwork. Paperwork includes dealing with letters, reports, and forms. Of course, nowadays, a lot of paperwork is actually done on computers. We often use paperwork with quantifiers such as a lot of or too much. For example, I have a lot of paperwork to do. Everybody wants things done faster nowadays, so at your work you might have to meet tight deadlines. A deadline is the date or time when you have to complete a particular piece of work before. If you don't do this, your boss and probably the client will not be very happy with you. Tight deadlines means that there is actually very little time in order to turn around work. You might have a job where you regularly have to meet with other people. We can say, I have to go to a lot of meetings. However, it's better for IELTS certainly to say, I have to attend a lot of meetings. Now it's your turn. Try the activities below to check how well you understand these phrases.